Well, hello, folks. I'm L.A. Little, and this is your daily NeoTA wrap. We take a look at these markets, and we do it from a neoclassical perspective, each time asking ourselves just one question: what happened today, and what does it tell us about the coming ones? I do this show 4 times a week, every Monday through Friday, broadcast at or before 10 o'clock Eastern Time. It's archived on YouTube. It's under the channel L.A. Little. You can subscribe there if you so wish, and each time content is pushed, you'll be notified. Also do a show on Sunday nights, broadcast same time. And what we're doing there is we're looking at a little bit longer term, intermediate and long term time frames, which is a different ball game. And if you're a buy and hold type person, you probably want to tune into that show. If you're interested in trading and you're interested in what the movements are on a shorter term basis, then you definitely want to be looking here as well as there. As far as today, let's take a look at the numbers. It was an up day early. The Russell actually held on to a small gain, but everything else reversed and came back down. Now, earnings start in earnest tomorrow, and that's the story. That's going to be the story. We've talked about it ad nauseum. As a matter of fact, I'm tired of talking about it, but we will look at a few early earnings numbers tonight and see what they look like. But as you can see, it was a sell down. You had gold selling down. You had the dollar up again, not very much, but a little bit. Oil spiked at the end. Bonds up a little bit. So not a lot of interesting data there, other than the fact that we did see some selling in those indexes. Let's look at the actual charts, see what they look like. And even though I want to be careful that I don't read too much into anything tonight, because low volume in front of earnings, anything can happen. But you did go over, you go back under, and you're back inside this bar. And I told members this morning this was what we'd want to be watching, and that is how do we deal with this bar? You can get over a bar, but if you can't stay over it, it's a different story. We didn't stay over it. We're back underneath it. So the top of the breakdown bar, you get over it on Friday, back under it. You actually go over today, back under, after a decent move. I wouldn't call it a 2-bar, but it is an over-under, and you're back inside the breakdown bar. So to me, those were the important things today, those things that we want to pay attention to. If we go over and look at some of the other indexes, you have the same thing. Breakdown bar high, and we're on the composite, 5,006. Looked like we were going to blow them all away this morning. But by the end of the day, where are we? We're back under them. We fell. We fell on volume. We fell on price. If we look at the NDX, NDX was trying to get up to that number. Top of it was 4442. Well, where did we get? 4448. Over, back under, less volume, failure. Do you get the pattern here? Let's go to Russell. This has been the workhorse. This is the guy that everybody keeps watching. I've been focused on. It failed 4 days last week to get over the breakdown bar. That top was 1265.85. Today it was blowing it away. So the number again, 1265.85. Where does it close? 1265.59. Fells again. Folks, over, back under, failure. Yeah, it sneaked out a little bit of a gain today. But once again, what is it telling you? In the neoclassical terms, all of these charts telling you the same thing. Nobody wants to pay up at higher and higher price. Right? When you get to a key area, and you've got to be able to pick out those key areas, but when you get to something that's key and you can't get over it and stay over it, right? That's telling you they're not willing to put their money where their mouth is. And it happened across the board today in all these indexes. Now again, I don't want to read too much into it because we've got so much data coming at us the next few days. But we'll see tomorrow if this really was the tell today. Let's go over and look at some sectors and so forth when we get back. And we'll talk a little bit more about the markets. I'll be right back.
At TA Today, we have many services that teach trading to our clients. You can use LA's tools to trade and or learn how to trade alongside LA using his Neoclassical methodology. To earn these free services with no subscription or charge, go to our homepage, click on either the Tools and Earn Free Services or Trade with LA and Earn Free Services. On this page, you can refer a friend. Fill out information about yourself and the friend you are referring, and you will earn up to 3 months of free service with no charge as long as your friend continues to be a subscriber. So remember, refer one friend and earn up to 3 months of free service with us. The more people you refer that sign up, the more months you earn. If you have any questions, let us know. Thanks from the TA Today team, bringing you tools and ideas to help you trade.
So as we come back here, last night, if you were tuned in, we were talking about key areas, just like we were looking at the indexes now. And those key areas were the breakdown bar back on March 25th, right? In almost all the sectors, the indexes, that was the bar. And what happens there? Well, you go over it, you go back underneath it almost universally today. And it wasn't just in the indexes, in the sectors too. If we look at that number, 35.8, right? So 358.84. Where do you close? 358.32. You go over it, you go back under it, you have less volume, failure, price and volume. And if we just kind of scan through some of these, IYT starting to come back down again. That one did a stick save last week on the weekly. Here's the SOX, can't even get up to the breakdown bar. XLB, not even close. XLE starting to come off. There really wasn't a quote-unquote breakdown bar on it. It's broken down for months now. Now the one that's going to be interesting is this one tomorrow, XLF. Coming up to the breakdown bar. Top of that guy's 24.46. You got two big reports in the morning with JP Morgan and Wells Fargo, probably the two, at least one of the two strongest names out there. That's going to be the test tomorrow. That's the one I would be looking at if I were you. XLI. Now this one got over the high. It's back under it again tonight. Struggling even though it had the big move off of the GE news on Friday. Here's the XLK. Can't get to the breakdown bar yet. XLP has gotten over it. XLP probably looks better than most, but that's kind of quote-unquote a safety sector. Utilities still hugging the flat line. Here's the XLV, like the the IBB, right? The biotech. 74.17. What does it do? Gets over it, back underneath it, fails price and on volume. And the XLY, which has been very strong, let me grab it. That little fellow, it goes back up to try to test the highs, can't quite get there. So, when we look across the board on the sectors, they're saying the same thing the indexes are tonight, and that is that, hey, I don't want to pay up. I don't want to leave, but I don't want to pay up. Now, maybe they'll fool us, and maybe something will change, but so far, that hasn't been the story. If we go over to the ox markets, we've been watching the dollar because the dollar's been making a nice big spike back up to the top side on the daily chart. Another doji here today with some volume. It's trying to get to this quote-unquote breakdown bar of its. March 18th, that was the number, 2630. Looks to me like you're going to have a shot at it maybe tomorrow. Elsewhere, we said the oil market moved up a little bit today, but it actually had a bad doji. Let's see what else happens. So on bonds still hanging, can't do anything. Silver, and they're still consolidating actually. Silver comes back down. And let me look at the junk bonds and some of the others like high corporates. I haven't looked at these in a while. So junk bonds still look okay on a short-term basis. Weekly's not so good. Corporate debt not so good either. That's struggling. Let's see what the continuous commodity index looks like coming back down again. And let me see what that FXE did. Now the FXE tested into that low and flipped around on Friday. Well, this is interesting. It looks like it closes under it today. 104.25. and it does, closes under it. So this is a key one, because if the FXE doesn't get back above this tomorrow, you're going to go down and test those lows and potentially break them. So everywhere I look tonight looks about the same to me, and that is that, hey, they crawled these things up to the top. Nobody wants to pay up. You get failures across the board, and that's how it looks coming in to the earnings season. And there's no reason to do a final thought, because I just gave it to you. And the final thought is, watch the financials in the morning, watch that index or that sector ETF. If it can't get up and over, right, because the financials, big sector, if they get some good earnings and they can move things, they can get something going. But if those don't do it, I'm not sure what is. Folks, thanks for joining me. Have yourself a great night, and I'll see you next time. I'm LA. This is and it was your daily NeoTA wrap. Have yourself a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow.